Yo, what up, guys? Beside you here, the free legendary champion we've all been waiting for is finally here. In the month of January, Raid is giving this champion away for free. All you have to do is log in 7 days. He didn't come alone to the game. He came with 4 other champions you can obtain during this period, and one of them is the Fragment champion for the month of January. So we have one that you can log in. Just obtain him by logging in 7 days, and the second one is going to be one that is the fusion or fragment event for the month of January. I'll go over that. There are 2 skills, especially to see if number 1, the fragment champion is worth your time and energy and effort, and of course him will discuss a little bit where newer players and endgame players can use him. When they will get free champions like this, they are usually amazing and useful, whether you're new to raid or even endgame. We can think of a few: UDK, Deliana, and others that they've given us for free. They are always amazing. So I hope he doesn't disappoint. I'll go over his skills and of course the fragment event. If you're going for that fusion, if you're going for that fragment event, I'll tell you whether it's going to be worth it. So again, the fragment, and this one is for free. And let me just talk about some important dates. Now you're seeing that the character designs are kind of unique. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the first champion for free and then the fusion champion. This is the fusion or the fragment summon champion that you can get from 11th of January. That's when the fusion is starting. You've already seen the countdown in game right here, and that's her own character design. This costume design and these weapons that these champions are wielding are all inspired by a different game called Monster Hunter. You can check them out, monsterhunter.com. The ones where this inspiration is coming from for this character costume and the weapons. I have to put that one out there first of all because it's nice for them to partner with me to make this happen. These champions will remain yours after the event ends, don't worry, so it's not gonna go away. So nice. The first one I want to talk about is the free one. This free champion is the first champion I want to talk about right here, because we want to see his skills and abilities in game. You can find them right now, but if you don't know what they do, let me break it down for you in this video. Starting 9th of January, all these events are starting. I'll tell you how you can obtain the other ones too. First of all, his A1, that's a decreased defense A1, 60% decreased defense. That's the big version of decreased defense. If the target is a boss, this debuff cannot be resisted. I'm already impressed. I'm already impressed. Well, I know that means you don't need accuracy basically to land this A1. I hope his other skills also do not need accuracy. If the A1 is already impressing me, let's see if he's one of those champions you can build without accuracy, right? All right, let me see. On the A2, attacks one enemy. Every second use of this skill in a round will attack all enemies instead. So it feels like a single target hit, but it's actually like a mix of single target and AoE. So every second use of this skill, that means he's going to be great in Relentless to use hit 1 and hit AoE again. That's what I just thought of, Relentless, because you want him to be using this second hit again all the time so you can do an AoE hit. As they're saying this is going to be a damage dealer, I thought it's just going to be placing decreased defense, but obviously they want him to do some damage. That's why they're doing just not single target but AoE hit also on the second hit. Like I said, it will be a damage dealer, so you can see it will also ignore 25% of the target's defense. So is it going to be ignoring single target 25% defense, or when it does the AoE, it will also ignore defense 25%? If the target is the boss, will ignore 100% of the target's defense. What the? Wait. Am I reading that right? If you ignore a boss's target, is a boss's defense 100% ignore defense? That's big nukes. I don't care whether it's going to be single target or AoE at that point. It's going to be big nukes on a 3-turn cooldown when booked. Well, I guess we'll have to see the multipliers to tell whether this is going to be hard hitting, but for you to ignore 100% of the target's defense, it's going to be amazing. Force, Affinity, Banner Lords, I forgot to mention those two. It doesn't matter which faction it belongs to. It's going to be amazing. Damn. All right, let's go. I'm already impressed. A1 impressed me. A2 is blowing my mind right now. And then let's see what the A3 can do. Attacks all enemies before attacking, places 30% increased crit damage buff on and a 30% increased speed buff on this champion for 2 turns. So he's even going to boost his own crit damage before attacking. So the question is, which skill do you want to use to nuke? Do you want to use the A3 first or the A2 first? Because it seems like the A3 is not ignoring defense, but the A2 will ignore defense. So if you have somebody else doing increased crit damage for him, I guess you can always start the battle with the A2 to ignore defense and nuke. They keep saying against bosses as if they want this champion to be used in PvE content. That's what it's kind of signaling. So in the arena, he's obviously not going to ignore the defenses of the enemies by 100%. It's going to be 25% instead when he's facing against arena and or wave content. All right, let's see if this can even get any better. I'm already impressed that this is going to be a damage dealer. I guess Deliana wasn't damage dealing enough. I guess Ronda was kind of a damage dealer. Attack. There are a lot of other ones that are damage dealers. So I'm thinking whether UDK is the only tank that we've had so far that we've gotten through 7-day login. So this is also another damage dealer. That's what I'm thinking. Hope his damage will be based on attack or defense. It doesn't really matter, because they didn't say increase attack or anything. So I guess they're just going to make him rely on somebody else to do either the buffing for him. All right, let's see the passive. That's the skills. The next thing is the passive. Inflicts 50% more damage against targets under HP burn debuffs. Receive 25% less damage on enemies from enemies under HP burn debuff. So if the enemies have HP burn, he's going to receive less damage. They are trying to signal that this champion is a PvE champion, basically. That's where we normally see HP burn. This is going to be crazy for the Hydra heads, ignoring 100% of their defense. I hope I'm reading that right. 100% of the target's defense. Every 5th skill used by this champion deals 200% more damage. I thought this could not even get any better. The passive does not need to be booked. It's going to be happening all the time. It's going to always inflict 50% more damage against targets under HP burn. And where do you always see HP burn? Hydra heads. They're going to suffer, I tell you. Even this new content that we're currently beating in Raid, the boss of Cost City and other content right now for the Shogun, always we're dealing with HP burn. So I guess we can do more damage to them now. Then he has an aura of increasing ally attack in dungeons by 30%, which is okay, I guess. Still, they're trying to insist you use the champion in the dungeons. I'm already impressed. What do you guys think about this dude? Rathalos Blade Master. That's the first time I've said his name. It just caught my eye right here. I was just so excited at seeing the champion character design and then his skills that I did not even acknowledge his affinity. I did not acknowledge his faction, and now his name, Rathalos Blade Master. I'm impressed by this champion. I can't wait to see all the crazy things that we content creators and you, the players, have to come up with ideas where we can use this champion, where he can ignore the boss's defense by 100% and an additional 200% more damage on every 5th skill used by this champion. So that's going to be A1, A2, A3, A1. He's just going to be put in a relentless set. I just know it. I mentioned it from the A2. Now I'm seeing that it's also the passive is also going to benefit from being in a relentless set. This is going to be the best set for him. So he can keep doing a lot of his skills and ignoring 200% more and dealing 200% more defense. He doesn't ignore 200% defense. He's going to deal 200% more damage, I mean to say. I'm impressed. Let me stop hyping it up until we see him in this game. We'll see his what do you call it now? How hard he actually hits before we can say whether it's going to be worth it or not. All right, now to the next champion, who is going to be the Fusion champion. But before I switch to the Fusion, let me quickly say when that is starting. The Fusion champion is starting on the 11th of January, like you can see, and it ends on the 23rd of January. So that's going to be a short fusion. It's going to be a fragment summoning event, one of those ones where you can save the champion. Like, let me just switch to my game and show you normal fragment event. We love to see fragments fusions. We are glad they are doing it in January, starting it easy for us. That's fragment summons right here. Timid was a fragment summons, and this is how it's going to look like. You can just get fragment of her until you finally get 100% and save her. So I'll be talking about the calendar when it fully launches, but for now, let me look at the champion herself, see if it's going to be what going for. And what's her name, first of all? No, that's not a picture. There she is. Zinogre Blade Master. Also Blade Master. Are they all Blade Masters? I guess that's because of the inspiration gotten from Monster Hunter right there. All right, let's see what's up with this champion. The Fusion Fragment event for the month of January, starting 11th of January, like we said. Zinogre. She looks like this champion will put skills on cooldown. All right, let me go into the skills. First of all, A1 attacks one enemy 3 times. Triple hit on an A1 is always good. Love to see that. The first thing you think of is Fire Knight, but this one just places weaken, so it's not going to be Fire Knight hard level property right there. 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. Not useless, still useful in some content. It's a low chance to land that weaken though, 30% chance. So that's A1 doesn't impress me. I'll tell you right now, doesn't impress me. If you're hitting 3 times these days and you don't bring a freeze on that A1, end game players don't like it. But for early game, this A1 will always help you taking down the shields of the Fire Knight or anywhere else where multiple hits is needed on the boss. And that type of champion, if a damage dealer type of champion, will be put in one of those masteries that make her gain a lot of damage from hitting hard. Is it Giant Slayer? Yeah, Giant Slayer. All right, on the A2 Blade Strike, that's a 3-turn cooldown when booked. Attacks one enemy 4 times. What is this champion hitting multiple times? What is a problem? Each hit increases this champion's turn meter by 5%. Oh, that's why you're hitting multiple times. Because you want to boost your turn meter by an entire 20% when you hit 4 times. That's amazing. Also places 30% increased speed buff on all allies. So is he a damage dealer, or is she a damage dealer or a support? This feels like a support type of champion. It feels so far it feels like a debuffer support type of champion, because now she's placing weaken on the enemies and she's boosting, increasing her speed while increasing her own turn meter by 20% when she hits 4 times. So let's keep going. I'm not impressed yet. Not yet. 20% turn meter is cool, but she does not decrease the enemy's turn meter though. She just fills her own turn meter, right? Each hit increases her own turn meter. She doesn't decrease their own turn meter. Now that would have been amazing if she also does that. All right, let's see. Attacks one enemy 4 times. Yes, there you go. Another 4 hitter on an A3. I hope she does something crazy with all these multiple hits that she's doing. Before attacking, she places increased attack buff on this champion. Is she a damage dealer? I've not seen it though. The first and the second hit has a 75% chance of landing Leech. Leech is either it's not that popular. It's not that high priority debuff that you need on enemies. I don't think so. But let's see. The third and fourth hit has a 75% chance of placing decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. I'm still not impressed. Remember, this is a single target hit, right? It's not an AoE now. This is a single target, so they're expecting you to use this champion in PvE content against the bosses. 3-turn cooldown on this skill is going to be 100% chance to land the Leech and the decreased attack when you fully book this champion. All right. So Zinogre Essence, that's a passive. It goes on a 4-turn cooldown. Damn. The passive will increase the damage this champion deals by 1% for every 1% of HP lost. Stacks up to 50%. So really, they're trying to make this champion a damage dealer. Basically, I'm trying to really read through her skills and see whether I can just find something that says yes, but I've not seen it yet. So far, it's like, remember, whenever Raid releases champions like this, there is somewhere where they know she will be amazing, somewhere where the community will find to use her. So if you find that out, or if you can think about it, let me know in the comments. From our A1, A2, and A3, I'm not that impressed yet. Decrease attack is here. Increase attack is on just herself. So she's very, very selfish, apart from the increased speed that goes on everybody else, right? And the weaken that everybody benefits from. Now she's becoming a damage dealer that loses HP. Every 1% of the HP lost deals 1% of more damage for every 1% of HP loss. So if she loses 90% of her HP, she will do 90% more damage. No, it stacks up to 50%. So if she loses 50% of HP, she does 50% more damage. So this is one of those champions that just want to be threading the low end of the HP, want to be taking damage and taking hits so she can do more damage. I don't see it. This increased damage doubles if the target is under decreased defense debuff. Of course, the target will be under decreased defense debuff. So let's just say she can stack up to 50% or 100% more damage if you can get her HP low to 50%. That's a weird passive, I tell you. You deal more damage if you lose health. As they're saying this is going to be like a PvP champion, I'm not seeing it because it's single target so far. Except this single target, just like Foley or other champions who can just, they just hit you multiple times and take you down. I'm saying this might be useful in PvP. I'm calling it. This might be a PvP champion from what I'm seeing so far. Whenever this battle just starts, you just target on somebody and just take them down. That's what it's feeling like. But her leech and increased speed and weaken throws me off. It feels like PvE. So they just want to be like a hybrid on two places where you can use this champion. Let me keep going for the active effect, which prevents this champion's death. See, I said it. She keeps herself alive, so she can do more damage. She prevents her death and keeps herself alive with 1 HP when hit by a fatal hit. If this skill prevents this champion's death, heals them by 50% of their max HP. Will not prevent this champion's death if they are under a heal reduction debuff. That's conditional. She also has increased speed in all dungeons. Why not arena, or why not all areas? Increased speed in all dungeons is also amazing. This champion in the leader slot, that means she'll be useful in all these new dungeons that just came out, including the Sun Devil Necropolis, the Phantom Shogun, or even the Iron Twins Fortress. You can use her in all that content. That's nice. That's really, really nice. So what do I rate this champion from all the skills I just had? If she hits super hard with her A3 or A2, this is going to be a champion who rates about 7 out of 10 so far. From what I can tell from her skills, it's not going to be crazy good. Now, if this ignoring defense, well, this is not the one that makes her deal more damage if it wasn't so conditional, because she has to lose 50% first. Then if they have decreased defense, she even increases the amount of damage she deals. When we go into raid to do damage, we don't like to meet all these conditions. That's what I'm trying to say. Basically, if you try to rely on conditions that whenever certain conditions are met, that's when you nuke hard. I know there are a lot of champions who already do it in raid. Helfra, when you, or what's his name now, Lurius. They're champions who just retaliate if certain conditions are met, right? I know they are there, so I guess she's gonna be on that list. But they're saying she's not an arena champion, so she's gonna be retaliating and taking advantage of her passive in PvE content or in dungeons. So will this be a fusion, fragment fusion you want to skip based on these skills and abilities? It feels like a normal damage dealer who has some support utility with increase, some debuffer utility, with increased speed and weaken and leech. So she's not that special. It's just that passive part. You see this passive part that says this is what makes her a little bit special, this part. So if you guys can understand this better and you can look for a place where you can benefit from using this, making her lose HP so she can hit harder, and make sure the enemies has decreased defense on them, so that the damage is even doubled to 100% of the damage she deals. It's gonna be good. She goes fast, hits hard, good with this news artifact set that just came out. And yeah, very conditional and can keep herself alive. You can nuke. She's one of those champions now that you can kill in the first hit, right? Except you ignore unkillable. She prevents her own death. Does she prevent it with a passive where she just comes back to life, or she prevents her death with unkillable? It doesn't say. Reversing this champion's death by keeping her alive with 1 HP. So it doesn't say she puts unkillable buff on herself. Because I know there are champions who, if you put unkillable buff, they can strip the buff and still kill you. Or it's just going to be a passive that doesn't put a buff on her. It would be nice. Now I'm beginning to see some special places. I'll wait till the other tier 3 content creators show her off in the test server, and then we can really give a final verdict about her rating. But for now, just my initial impression, I'm going to give this champion a 7 or 8 out of 10. I'm not seeing her being very special in terms of the fusion that we've had so far in Raid. She's just going to be one of those ones where we hope it's not too difficult, but if it's a difficult fusion, people will want to skip out on it. So what are the names of the other champions that are coming out along with these ones I just called out? Because I just went straight to the 2 ones who can sure to get. The first one is 7-day login, and the second one I talked about, the January fusion. What about these other 3 champions that are coming up? Well, the one on the screen right now is called Rathalos Blade Master. Rathalos Blade Master is here on the screen looking at you with a big sword. That's an amazing one. He is going to be obtainable from shards. January 9th all the way to 5th February, ending date 27th of February. So that's how you can get this champion, through shards. That's all it says. As the time goes on, we'll have more information about how you can get him. But from what I can tell right now, this champion will be available from shards. That's it. And then the next champion on the that I released along with this one's, what's her name now? This one is Neginta. Or that's a long name. I don't know how to pronounce this one. Basically, it's Negigante. Okay, Negigante. Negigante. I don't know how to say that. We're just gonna call her Archer because yeah, she's an archer and she has a bunch of arrows stuck up there. A bow, specially designed bow for her. She's from the Barbarian faction. You can see from the design and the background, you can tell that's a Barbarian faction champion, and also available from January 9th all the way to 27th February, then deactivates from 5th March. She can be obtained from shards and in-game activities. We're going to find more details about that also. It doesn't say, but I'm going to, whether it's going to be a deck of fate, whether it's going to be a 15x progressive event, whether it's going to be a bunch of events and tournaments that comes up to give you these champions. But the first one for Rathalos is going to be just shards. That's all it says. This one says in-game activities, so we'll find out which in-game activities can get you this champion. I'm not going over their skills because I don't know yet, but you'll find them in the game when they are released. And then the last one that is released also along with these champions is this one. This champion is called Alatrion. Alatrion Blade Master is the full name, and he is also released alongside January 9th. You will find them all in game. He looks like which faction is this that has candles all over? Is it Python's faction? I've not seen this background before. This rotating background looks strange. I don't know which background this is. I can simply check which faction it belongs to. Nightmare faction. That's where it belongs to. Nightmare faction. Yes, right? Night Revenant faction. That's where it belongs to. And he's looking like, almost looks like a lizard, but it's Nightmare faction because it almost looks like this thing that Pythons hold, this Pythons colors. But that's him. He's going to be available also the same time that these champions are launching, and he's going to be available from shards and in-game activities too. So those are the 5 champions. You just saw them all here. This is the first one, shards and in-game activities. This one, January Fragment event. This one, the free 7-day login champion. This one, shards and in-game activities, and the last one, shards. All right, you guys tell me what you think about this champion. I'm very impressed with the login 7-day login champion. So we cannot be mad about the January fragment because we're getting already a champion for free in January, right? So you cannot be too mad that the fragment is not looking too impressive as you want it to be. I'm totally fine with the fragment being the way it is. I'm just hoping the events and tournament are not too hard. Once that fusion calendar launches, I'll break it down and tell you my plan. But for now, let's just enjoy what Raid has prepared for us for the month of January. I enjoy it. It's going to be amazing month of January, running all the way to February and March. 5 champions. Let me know which ones you're going for, or you're just going to stick to the free-to-play mentality and just go for the free one you can get, the 7-day login, and then the fragment event champion. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Later, guys.